So, today I'm going to talk about that job thing that I was saying I was going to do for a long time. But first, I don't think this hat really fits me good. I don't have a big enough head, I don't think. I forgot to hit the pause button again, so I went in a long story and probably didn't get any of that. Okay, let's start all over again. So, my first real restaurant job was at a McDonald's, and it was really cool. I didn't hate it. People that worked there was pretty cool. The managers were pretty cool. And the interesting thing, a little bit of a story about interesting things about it then and now, is because back then they didn't have 24-hour breakfast like they do now. And I don't know how much of this has changed, but back then they used to have, you had to change your station around from breakfast to lunch. So you literally couldn't do a lot of the same stuff. Like when people would come in later and went, "Well, why can't I have breakfast?" Like you literally switched some of the stuff around, so you couldn't do it. It was almost impossible to do it. So, and that's why they didn't do it for a long time. And they must have changed it now because it would look like it would be really hard to do it unless they streamlined stuff better, which would have been cool. Another interesting fact when I worked at McDonald's was, was the whole onion thing, because they have those little onions and they're freeze dried. I didn't know that before I started working there. I didn't know that the Egg McMuffin eggs come cooked in like two things. I didn't know that before I started working there, which I think has actually changed for them now. I think I read somewhere one time. But I liked working at McDonald's. I know now, as a corporation, they're a lot more political about their stances on worker stuff than they used to be. I know they used to treat workers a lot better than they do now. But overall, I liked working there. I only worked there for probably 2 paychecks, I think it was. Two interesting stories there. One personal and one working there. The one that was working there is the story was like, because we had a couple of managers there. And managers, by the way, in restaurants they go through different managers. That's why a restaurant can be 6 months later, a totally different mindset and much better or much worse. Because there's a lot of pressure put on restaurant managers, especially in fast food managers, that they have to always be making money all the time, big time, and stuff like that. So, like, those managers jump around. I mean, you can look at the resumes of some managers I've known, and they would have, like, Boston Market, Wendy's, McDonald's, and all this other stuff. They worked at all these places as store managers. We had 3 shift managers, if I was not mistaken, there, and like two store managers or something, because one of them actually worked in a nearby town of Wise and there, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember right. I am getting old now. Getting towards the end of the line. But these managers were all like friends, really good friends. That's how they all got jobs actually there, if I remember right. They all, like, one after the other, helped the other one get hired there. Well, me and another guy came in to work breakfast, and I just started, I think it's like the 3rd or 4th day, and management wasn't there. And it happened before where somebody was like sick and supposed to open the store, and you had to call somebody else, another manager, and they came in and opened the store, but nobody was there. And it was like 3 hours later, and customers were all pissed coming by, and we were all like, we don't have keys, we can't get in. So, I think it was somebody I worked with, or somebody... No, I tell you what, it was the person who owned the property that the McDonald's was on, like, the actual property, came by, and he was asking us what was going on, and we told him. He called the person that owned the franchise there, and the guy let us in, and we started working, and they were calling people slowly as the day went on to come from other McDonald's to work. And those people had quit en masse. They decided that they were like, fuck it, and they planned it out, and it really fucked over at McDonald's. From what I hear, last time I was up there, I think it was still up there, which was years ago, but that McDonald's almost went out of business because of it, because when you had all your managers quit, and then after that, there were some other regular employees that quit that were friends with these people too, or knew them, or worked with them. I just started there. I barely knew anyway, so I was like, I don't know what's going on. I didn't know what hell was going on. But they eventually brought in a bunch of corporate people, and they had like area managers working in there for like, I think the whole time I was there before, because they were just getting up running. It took almost 2 weeks. I only worked there for, not 2 weeks, 2 paychecks. I only worked there for like 4 weeks, and it took them almost the whole time I was there to basically get it back up and running smoothly, because they had bring somebody in. But I mean, I have no clue why they did it, but that was definitely a way to fuck over a place by uniting. I know we were stuck not knowing how to do fucking anything. Like, like I said, I just started there. I didn't even know how to run a fryer, and the other person was only a cashier. And yeah, the other two people that started with me that morning were only cashiers, so that's a messed up story in a way. So, and my other story, the more personal one, was after work one time. I I after work locked my keys in the car, so I had to call my older brother, and he came up there and he jimmied the back sliding window a lot of pickups have, and got me in the truck. Interesting story. It happened to me years later when I moved to Florida. I didn't have anybody to get me in. I couldn't jimmy the window, and I had to bust it out to get in. Another interesting story. I told everybody somebody broke in because I was too embarrassed. I mean, like, fucking crap. Like, okay. Okay, let's end this out. It's like almost 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And if you are on my YouTube, go check out our latest short release, Night Down, which is a kind of like a short that's part of the TikTok series on our TikTok channel, which is 10 Universe on TikTok, but it's in between 8th and 9th season, with the 9th season starting this week. But I'd like for you to check it out, tell me what you think, and all that. Go to 10universe.blogspot.com for all 10 Universe stuff, ebooks, comics, everything. A lot of stuff's on hold right now, because the real trees got put on hold, and almost everything we had this year was supposed to lead up to that, in a certain way to lead up to that, so it's going to be delayed. If stuff starts to go back to normal, we can actually film with other people and get the series done, then we got to replan. But until that happens, there's no way I can do it. So the main thing I'm making right now is videos and stuff for TikTok. I mean, I got enough back catalog of Billy's Travels with Bad Angles and testing and learning a lot of stuff to keep me. And I got this if I ever update it regularly or remember to hit the record button. I hope everybody's having a good time, and hope nobody's as stressed as I am right now. But a lot of us are stressed as I am right now. But this is my vlog. I can be more stressed than other people, can't I? I think so. I can have ego.